Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's thewfia.org, and become a member today.
Welcome, everybody, to the PWZ podcast, now part of ProWrestlingWire.com. I'm Rick Del Santo, and joining me today, Matt Awesome. What's going on?
What's up? What's going on, everybody?
This is something we've been trying to do for like a long time. Let's get you on this program. It's been like well over a year, and now it's finally happening. It almost happened last week, but pure chaos. And tonight, preparing for the holiday was pure chaos, but I said, there's no way. My wife was like, you don't have a show. I'm like, I can't cancel. I already canceled once. So anyways, I'm glad to have you here. And thank you for
I'm happy to be on, finally.
Thank you. Yeah, finally. So tell me about your beginnings in the world of professional wrestling and, or life, how you got interested in the world of professional wrestling, because that's always my interest, because it's I grew up in a very interesting time, the 1980s, and professional wrestling was very special at that time. Now seems like it's even more special in a way.
Oh yeah, very special.
And it's even more all over the place than it was when I was growing up.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah, like me, what I would say is what started me off was as a child, Saturday mornings with my stepfather watching, Saturday Morning Superstars. Also watching Glow as a child.
Me too. Right after WWF Superstars, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like we would watch it. I would freaking fall in love with wrestling there, and then the women on the next show. And after that, it was also me and my cousin Chris. We were always running around in our little WWF underwear with our little action figures that wouldn't move. They stayed like this all the time. He had Ultimate Warrior, and I had Hulk Hogan. Even though I wasn't the biggest Hulk Hogan fan anymore, but around that time I ran around with that figure like it was no tomorrow. But the difference was on my underwear was Macho Man. That was the funny thing. And then one of my other cousins, Anthony, he was another wrestling fan with me. So it was weekends. Chris would come stay over my house, and we're watching nothing but wrestling. And then other weekends, I'll be hanging out with my cousin Anthony, and we'll be watching nothing but wrestling and playing video games. And then as I got older, me and my best friends, we would wrestle in the hallway in my building in the Bronx all the time on the concrete floors, hurting ourselves. But we felt like we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And then my cousin Chris, around that, like I would say the early 2000s, he would started bringing me DVDs. But these DVDs weren't WWE, weren't WCW, weren't ECW. No, these DVDs were Ring of Honor. So I was basically baptized in the Ring of Honor era around the same time that Harry was also, which hopefully Harry can make it to this.
I hope so.
Because Harry can elaborate on that too. If I'll bring it back up when he gets on, but he would every other weekend. Chris will come over and bring me a different DVD or a few and say, "Watch these." Mm-hmm. And in 2 weeks, he'll come back. He'll pick them up and bring me more. So I got more accustomed to watching indie wrestling that way, and I found a brand new love for wrestling there. We would also rent, like when I was young. We were younger back in the 90s. We would rent like All Japan and New Japan DVD, like tapes, cassette tapes, and we used to watch them. So it wasn't only WWF at the time and WCW being played on my TV, we also had these tapes. So my love for wrestling was full circle. It wasn't like it was just on one thing. And then I would say, well, because I've been doing this now for 7 years. Um, 8 years ago, I'm gonna throw it out there. It was around October, November of 2015. I met a gentleman by the name of Steve Pena. And I met him at a gym. We were working out. I was working out, and he turns around and goes, "Oh, cool. I know that guy," because of the t-shirt I was wearing. And I'm like, "Oh, which one?" Because I was wearing a Enzo Amore Big Cass t-shirt. I was wearing the
Right.
Salt t-shirt. He was like, "Oh, I know Big Cass." So we got into a conversation, and it clicked. We were both wrestling fans. We loved it, and we became like really good friends. So he told me, "Yeah, I'm a local wrestler. You should come and you should stop by and watch a show." I'm like, "Oh, cool. When are you wrestling?" He gives me a day. Get out of work. I shoot straight to Gleason's, Johnny Rogers School,
Right.
to
Johnny
watch
Rods.
the show. And on this show now, this is the funny part. And this was, I want to, like I said, this was 8 years ago. On this show, I watched Masha Slamovich
Mhm.
wrestle. I watched Jay Vera wrestle. I watched at the time Karen Q, who we all know she's on NXT as Wendy, and I watched MJ Jenkins wrestle. So I watched all of these talents before they got signed to the WWE and Impact. And I was like, dang, I really kind of want to do this. And I was around that time, I was in the gym. I was trying to cut weight before I got back in the ring, before I get in the ring. And then I saw a Hog show that February, right after, going into
Right.
2016,
Which
basically.
is like a huge group out in that area that you're from.
Yeah, House of Glory is like
Yep.
one of the bigger promotions here in New York City.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it.
Oh, hang
And
on.
oh, here you
Hang on
go.
1 second. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, before Matt continues, I just want to say that Harry Davila, Harry Davila is finally joining us. We are in the middle of this conversation. He told me I don't even think he hears us yet. Told me he was going to be late. Probably putting his baby to sleep, I guess. But
It's all good. He had to put the princess to sleep. It's fine.
there you go. Beautiful baby that he has there.
Yes,
So
very. And
yeah.
then basically I saw the show. And on that show we had Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. There's a few people. And I had a blast at that show. And that show it finally clicked. It was like, you know what? I need to do this. Because I don't want to be that old man that said, "Man, I could have been doing this when I was a kid. I need to do this now. Like I need to get in the ring." So I hit up Pena. I'm like, "Hey, bro, when can we train?" He was like, "You really want to do this?" I'm like, "I really want to do this." So we went down to Darrow's Extreme Fitness in the Bronx, which is also known as BWF,
Mhm.
and I got baptized in the ring. I took a few bumps, got out the ring, threw up, got back in the ring, took another bump, got back up to take the next one, and Pena was like, "Stop, no more." I thought he was telling me, "No, stop, like you suck, get the hell out the ring, you're never doing this again." But no, the man was telling me to stop because he saw I was serious about this. I went, threw up, and came right back into that ring to finish. So he was like, "Come back tomorrow. We're gonna work some more." I came after that. It was a done deal. I'm in this. I'm in this till the wheels fall off. And I always say that. And I know it's cliche to hear people say that. I get a lot of how can I say I get a lot of burn for it from my girl. She says, "Yeah, until the wheels fall off." Okay. I'm like, "Listen, do you not know Zach Gowen? Yeah, one wheel and kept going. I can do it." So I told him, I'm like, "I'll do this. I'll do this to probably, I'm like Ric Flair taking bumps at 80. Who knows?" But it's something I love. It's been a passion. And now that Harry's joined us, I was letting Rick know how a close person to us would always lend me the DVDs. And I got
Oh, you mean
baptized
my
into Ring of Honor.
you mean my DVDs?
Your DVDs, who are not,
My DVDs.
which fun fact for the world to know, Harry and Chris basically blessed me with this holy grail of a jewel case of DVDs, which I have to get them back from somebody.
This is what happens. You lend people stuff, and then they lend them to other people.
Oh no,
That's
no.
irresponsibility.
You know who has them?
Has them.
Pena. Steve Pena has them, and he's giving them back to me. He just keeps forgetting to give them to me when we had shows together.
Like, I feel like you've been telling me this for like a year, and I still haven't seen the product.
He's been
but that's
watching
fine.
all of it. He's been watching all of them. And
That's
look
fine.
at the beast. Look at what he's been doing in the game right now. So
Yeah.
he's studying. He's studying tape.
Oh, also, by the way, to Rick's comment earlier about being late to my pod, hold on. For the guy who's been late to a bunch of his pods since I've come on,
Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm the boss.
Excuse these nuts.
I'm the boss.
He said excuse his nuts, so
that's not what he told me the other day.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, Matt Awesome, hi. Hello. How's it going?
Hello, family. How you doing?
I'm doing quite well.
I see that you started your career. You started your in-ring career in 2017.
Yes, my very first match ever was in November for a BWF anniversary show.
Okay.
And it was actually against a very close friend of mine that he was wrestling in BWF and around for a long time, who now has a school down in South Carolina, his name is Fuego Calderon. He's good friends with me and my cousin Chris too. And Chris introduced me to him years ago. Right. And from there, we just became good friends. And he always tried to get me to do wrestling. It never really stuck for me to go. But then when I started and he found out, he was like, yo, I want to be Matt's first match. So he spoke with the promoter. He spoke with the person that had the book and was like, listen, pull him out of that gauntlet. Because I was going to be in a big battle royal. He was like, pull him out of the battle royal. He doesn't deserve to be there. Put him against me. And the match is actually on my YouTube. Because I have a YouTube channel with most of my matches, which next week I will be uploading 2022 stuff.
Don't forget, I still have a lot of your footage.
I know.
So
I know. I gotta got some of it.
If you need matches, he's telling you where to go.
Well, I own a lot of Matt Awesome footage from probably
2022.
2022 and some early 2023 part. This is the year that I've seen you less this year than I did last year.
But that's that's here nor there. You'll be seeing more of me in 2024. Guaranteed.
Good to
see. I'm calling it.
You heard that, right? So if he doesn't follow through, I don't want to hear no excuses next year talking about well this happened and that happened. Like, I want to see Matt everywhere. I don't want to see Matt at your random one spot in New York. I want to see Matt everywhere.
It's okay. I'm gonna get to the places in New York eventually.
Oh,
you know this. I'm gonna talk about them. You know,
it wasn't even a slight. It wasn't even. I'm not trying to be slight. Matt, you know exactly what I mean by that. I want to see Matt excel.
Of course. Fun fact: Harry's always on me about being the best me all the time, and majority of the time, I want to say about 98% of the time, when he does this to me, I need it, and I need that kick in the butt sometimes, and he gives it to me.
Oh, don't worry, Rick gets it too.
I'm gonna. Well, hold up a second, Harold.
Am I wrong, Richard?
Harry is a great motivator and somebody that will tell you to and has he will have, if he has confidence in you, you're going to hear it. Okay.
Oh, of course.
And that's why I think Harry and I have become such good friends in the last year is, even actually it was well over a year ago, because when I was making my debut for a company for a commentary and it was just one match, I was shit nervous and Harry was working cameras. He's like, what the fuck is your problem?
Oh man, that show.
Yeah, well,
wait a second.
The match that I was gonna sit in for, I gotta tell you, it was a good match. And Harry sat there and why are you complaining? You just sit there and talking to a microphone for hours at a time, and this and that. And I'm just like, yeah, but there's a couple hundred people sitting behind me. That was the difference. Harry sat there and
Man.
pushed his confidence in me and told me. And then I was just like, after that, I was like, damn, I feel better. And now I do it basically every weekend. So
it's crazy.
I'll get to the story eventually. Once we get to more of the matches, I'm gonna tell you guys. Harry knows the story. I'll tell you a story, Rick, about a match that I had last year that you were there for. But I'll tell you what was going on prior to that match and in my head right before it and during it. And I'll talk to you about it once we get to that, though.
We forget sometimes that yes, he does. He does his mic work. It's filmed and then it's put out there, but hundreds of people watch it.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people watch it. Talking to you, Rick.
I'm
talking about you. Hundreds of people watch it. So what's the difference between those hundreds of people that watch it separately as opposed to the 100 people watching it live?
I've had to, I don't want to take the shine away from our guest, Matt. Awesome. But I am going to say this. It's a self-confidence issue that I've had for many years. And there's it's a speaking in front of a group of people. I was never able to do that growing up. Yeah, it does. And I try it now. Because of professional wrestling, I've actually gotten better. But
it'll do that.
There's still times where I'm like, people are like, hey man, do you want to ring announce? I said, fuck no. Like, no, I'm not getting up there in front of, I don't care if there's 30 or 40 people in there, or if there's, 100 people. I was at a show in Springfield, Mass, not so long ago. They asked me, I said, no, I made Kevin Saban do it. So Kevin suffered because of me.
All right, go ahead, Matt. Tell us your story.
All right. So back in 2022, I was basically requested to be wrestled. And it was at PABW.
Okay.
And I was literally shitting bricks from the moment I was told, yeah, I got you next month. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then when the picture came up, I'm like, damn, he was right. And that individual was Lucas Chase.
I got it right here. Yep.
The funny thing is, I met Lucas back in 2020, like summertime 2020, through Harry. He introduced me to him. We had a great conversation, and which opened the doors for me to get to Connecticut to wrestle finally. And, of course, I know for a fact that night that I debuted at BST, Lucas was, pulling back the curtain to watch my match to see what I was capable of, because I was highly recommended by Harry. And that night I proved that I can I want to be here to stay. I want to wrestle at BST from now on, because I had lost my home at BWF because they closed up shop. So I was literally searching for I was looking for a
pandemic.
Home. Yeah, pandemic closed a lot of places, and it closed that spot, and that was my home where I would train.
Yeah,
that's got closed down. So after the match, Lucas comes up to me. Harry gets off a commentary after the next pre-show match, and they both were like, "See you next show." And I'm sitting there like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then Harry pulls me aside. I was like, "Yo, you fucking killed it. You're coming back. You did exactly what I knew you were capable of doing." So fast forward to 2022, I find out I'm wrestling Lucas Chase. Mind you, I've watched his matches. I'm like, yo, this guy's good. Mind you, who his teacher is what really got me nervous.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was just coming back from being out there.
Yeah, he had just finished defending the title out that way.
Where's Vin?
I think the weekend before, in
RWA.
In RWA.
Oh, and we were allowed to talk about Texas here. What are you talking about?
No, but this is what happened.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Lucas had just came back from I think it was like a week before our match. The weekend before our match, he had just came back. And I'm like, yo, he was just out there with Dustin. And I know Dustin watches his stuff because, of course, that's a student. He sends his stuff to get feedback all the time. Holy crap, I'm going to have to be on my P's and Q's in this match. Holy crap, Dustin Rhodes is going to watch this match. Hopefully I don't shit the bed. That was going through my head. And whenever I go into matches, I'm never in my head about it like that. I'm going in there confident. I got this. This is going to be one of my best. And I always go in like that. I try to kick it up a notch every single match I do. I try something new every single match. And I'm literally shitting bricks. I get out there. Harry's like, listen, I'm only going to go to watch your match and I'm leaving because I have something prior to do today. So I'm only coming to watch your match. I made sure that they put your match on.
Pause.
I'm watching this and leaving.
Pause. Hold on.
But before that, he was like, I ain't going to shit. You're stuck. And then he shows up and he's like, I'm only staying for your match.
Hold
and I
on.
made him record the match too. So
Why is Fuzzy over there shaking his head?
wait, who?
Harry is what do you mean fuzzy? Harry always has something else to do. You don't even notice that? Yeah, I'm showing up for your match and then leaves.
I think I remember what it was.
Yeah.
It was basically he had something to do with the wife. So
you know what? I'll let it slide. I met her. She's very nice. Right.
I'm like, no, I even said it too. Rick. I'm like, listen, the wife comes first, and she would kill me if I didn't let him go anyway. So I was like, go, do what you got to do. He was like, no, I came to watch you shit the bed, fucking with me. He likes to fuck with me.
So
I see him. I'm
the same thing. I feel it.
I'm talking to Lucas, and Lucas was like, bro, you nervous? I'm like, yeah. He was like, bro, it's me. It's me. Why are you nervous? It's me. I'm like, because it's you. That's why I'm nervous. Not because you're highly skilled. It's because who you were taught by, and I know he's gonna watch this. And he was like, bro, come on, let's go. The moment we got into that match, the nervousness went out the window. Like literally, it was out the window.
Absolute professional.
And I just was like, oh, I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna die in fashion. And literally the first opening spot of the match, I get suplexed on the outside. I eat the apron,
Hot start.
and I get suplex on the outside, back in, walk my way back up, still hit a cutter, and then got put inside of a sharpshooter. Got hit with a chair. But at the end of the match, at the end of the night, Lucas came up to me. He gave me a big hug. He shook my hand and he was like, you fucking did that tonight. You did that. And at that moment, I felt like I accomplished something, which that's why that match in 2022 was my number one match of the year because of what we did. And the fact that I wrestled somebody, and this has always been taught to me, always wrestle somebody that's a little better. And you learn. I learned that I can take myself to a different level in that match. And I can bang with the best of them. That's how I felt after that match. And it was because, one, Lucas made sure I got the nervousness out. And for him, I'm forever thankful for that. And then Harry, being Harry, getting me out of it too. Because he's like, bro, how many times have you ever wrestled in a match and taken a bump? Right? Tonight is going to be even harder. It's going to hurt. And I'm here to watch you suck. But at the end of the day, you're good. It's Lucas. I'm like, ha ha ha. Yeah, BST champion at the time.
Yeah, he sucked. Man, that match
was painful.
That match is horrible. The worst match of 2022 for me. Literally, like, completely shit the bed. I think it was rated PWI worst match ever. Like, superseding all.
PWI has all.
Yeah, it's so
PWI
bad.
has PAPW on the radar. I know where we're at here. Sorry, Mario. Sorry, Roma. I love you all. But
wow, that's your boy too, yo. Mario's your boy like that. Yikes.
Sometimes you gotta hear from your boys.
He doesn't listen to this.
That's your boy though. Anyways, that was honestly like up until that point for me, that was Matt's best match, hands down. Obviously, who was he in the ring with? Constant professional Lucas Chase. So it's really hard to have a bad match with him. And Matt Awesome absolutely held his own. I give him shit because I know how good Matt Awesome can be. I've seen him be great. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. The Bronx Rumble for We Are Wrestling. Yo, Rick, let me tell you,
that was fun.
This man, at this point was, I would say, in a really down point in his career. He wasn't really like doing a lot. I know from conversations me and him have had, that he was just not like he still knows who he is, but he doesn't feel confident like Matt Awesome sometimes comes off super confident. And then he goes into the Bronx, and this is a big show. It's a stacked card. And there was a lot of people. Miracle Generation was on this card. Ichiban was on this card. Prolific was on this card. Ruthless Lala, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Janai Kai, so Marcus Mathers, just to name a few of talent that were on this card. And at the end of the night, Matt Awesome got the biggest pop from winning the Battle Royal to enter him into the We Are Wrestling title tournament. It was a cool moment for me and Chris, who your cousin, my best friend, who was there with me. It was almost like Butterfree coming out of the Metapod show. Oh no, is that no, I'm right. Is that it's Kakuna, right? Which one goes into the shell? No, I was right.
Butterfree comes out of the Kakuna.
No, Beedrill comes out of the Kakuna.
That's right. Beedrill turns.
So Butterfree out of it's like a butterfly coming out of a cocoon.
A cocoon, there
bro.
we go.
It was like he finally blossomed into like this great professional wrestler with the moment that he always wanted. It was a beautiful moment. Yeah, and I think from then on, Matt Awesome has started to prove himself all over again, but with top tier talent. Being in the ring with guys like a Jarrett Diaz, Bobby Buffet, Main Event, so on and so forth. He's been proving himself, and I've been watching because he sends me everything, so I have to watch it. So I have to watch it, and every time it does better and better and better. And this, Matt, and I'll tell you this because I haven't told you this yet. After United by One, I've had multiple people, will not name who they are, but I had multiple people go, yo, fucking Matt Awesome showed out. Matt Awesome killed it. Matt Awesome did his thing. And I'm just like, okay. And I'll be real. I haven't had a chance to really watch the show back for obvious reasons because, I was all over the place.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
But
I'm waiting to watch it back, too.
I've seen clips.
Is there a timeline as to when it may be released? Or
no, Rick. No, Rick. There isn't a timeline. No.
Hey, I was there too,
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff in the chamber. Just give us some time. There's a lot of things that's happened. We're getting there. All right. I'm sorry, Coliseum Pro Wrestling Commentator of the Year. Bring it down a little bit.
Only commentator there. So yes, I get that award.
Nah. Kels is there. You got Kels. Kels is good.
No, but
we'll talk about that off here.
That Rumble was basically a very special weekend for me. That was one, and two. It was it was a moment. Yeah, like Harry said, it was
hold on.
Yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about that moment. Talk about how why that was a special moment for you. Talk about the conversation you had with the reporters prior to that. Talk about that whole day for you. That was a big day and a crowning day for you. Talk about it.
Because that last year was a good year for me. It was a good year to the point of wrestling. I wrestled a lot more last year. So, I started off the year with BST last year, in the Rumble. And the next month I really didn't have anything. And it was like, I'll have a show, nothing for like a month, which I don't like those months. Those months really kill me. And it kind of brings down my confidence. So I didn't have a show, but I'm like, I'm gonna hit the gym, work out, I'm gonna cut promos, just be relevant. And I then had a tag team match, me and Jarrett versus the Pyramids of Power. We killed it. We had a great time. And then I started working with PAPW that year.
So that was at PAPW. Was that? Did you just say that was?
No.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't at PAPW, or it wasn't at BST either. It was a show in Bridgeport for SGW,
Yeah.
For a promotion that I believe ran
They only ran one show, I think, right?
one show. Yep, one
Who's
show,
the
and then
promoter of that show? Do you know?
I don't want to give his name on air. I'd rather not, uh just to avoid
Reasons.
any
You're
legal
bringing, yeah,
ramifications.
a legal.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
geez,
yeah.
yes. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can. Okay, we'll
That's
talk
why I
off air.
said we had a good tag match there. Then fast forward to I started working with PAPW. First match against PAPW was, Hunter Tarka. I won that match. Then the next month was Lucas. After Lucas was Fly Nine Noriega.
Hmm.
And then after that I did the Coliseum Pro. I did the tag team, the tag team tournament, the one night tag team tournament with
Yeah.
Jarrett. Um then I had got my hopes up for an actual show that was coming up. And it was a show I've always wanted to be on, by a company I always wanted to wrestle for. And that was Battle Club Pro.
Yep.
Um,
Okay. I know where we're at in the timeline.
bookings got like mixed up and skewed. And the main promoter, he spoke to me. He told me exactly because he's another one, Joaquin Morales. He's another one that I turn to for feedback to. And he's always taken me under his wing and spoke to me about certain things and where his promotion is and what he looks for in talent. Also, he runs the Fallout Shelter, which is a school in the city that has top tier wrestlers in there, trainers like Jorge Santi, who's a great talent. Who you got? Masha Slamovich, Akira, Prince Ahmed, Steve Pena, um, Ref Steve Domain, and Mike Law. They're all trainers at that school. And as you can see by the wrestlers I mentioned, the caliber of Battle Club is high. Battle Club has housed LAX, who is Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz. You had the Sea Stars there. You had Anthony Bowens as a champion there at one point. You did I would say Battle Club Pro has been a revolving door for a lot of wrestlers that we love now, that we see on TV that are signed to these promotions, these big companies. And I've always wanted to be there. So he told me, listen, he was like, this isn't the Matt Awesome that I know you could be, which was the same exact thing that Harry would always tell me. So I took it and I didn't take it as bad feedback because I'm always told feedback is a gift.
Yeah.
And
Not
what
everybody
you
has
do
to
with
give
that
it.
gift is exactly, and what you do with that gift, you do better. So I took it back to the drawing board and I'm like, I'm just gonna go out there and kill it every single time I get in that ring and do what I have to do, which opened the door for me to wrestle for a Fallout Shelter show, which is a part of Battle Club. And I proved a lot of people not wrong, but I proved them right. I can be better than what I was putting out there.
Mhm.
And I was invited back for the next show. The show that I really wanted to be on was the Jobber Slam show, which fell on the same day as a show for BST. So I had that like right there, and I'm like, oh my God, I could do this one, but I don't want to turn my back on this company because this company is my home now. So what ended up happening was, since the booking got basically confusing and confused, and they said, look, sorry, you're not booked on the show, but we're going to take care of you. I went to BSC. I wrestled my match, professional about it. Um, and then fast forward to October, had a match with I had my I no, in fact, no, wow, take it back, June of 2022, when I had that amazing match against the Haven. I love that match against the Haven. Tag team title match for BSC in June.
Oh, the first one.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Yep.
hit each other
Yep.
hard that match, and I loved every moment of it. But it's funny because the next day I got a call from Invictus.
Wasn't that Cataclysm?
Yes, Cataclysm.
Yep. And then that next night, you got a call about coming up to Invictus / TOS
Yes.
up in Torrington, and you ended up meeting up with me, and I brought you up to the show.
Yep. And mind you, me and Alex, who is the promoter of Invictus Pro Wrestling, have always been in conversation of possibly bringing me in. And I guess after a real good conversation me and him had at a We Are Wrestling show after a seminar with Jay Lito, it kind of clicked. Like, it's about time to bring Matt Awesome in. And he brought me in. He was like, "Look, listen, are you still in Connecticut? Because I heard you were out here wrestling the night before." And I'm like, "Actually, I'm back home, but do you need me? I'll be out there." He was like, "Can you please?" I'm like, "I'll be there." So I hit up Harry. I'm like, "Listen, I'm gonna go to the Invictus show. Can you pick me up and take me? I need a ride." He was like,
The,
"No, I'm gonna leave you at the train station. Of course, I'm gonna take you." He came, picked
the,
me up,
the
took me.
crazy thing was that I had already had plans to go up there
Yeah,
to meet up with Alex Rojas and Caesar, who was doing pictures that day, I believe.
yeah, he was in
And
photos that day.
yeah. So I think I picked. Didn't I pick you up to then pick Caesar up?
Yeah, we picked
Yeah.
up Caesar right
Okay.
after, and then we shot over there. And as soon as I got there, I didn't know what match I was gonna be in. Like, I didn't know anything until I
Hmm.
got there. And Alex is pulling me through the back. He's like, "The show's about to start like in 5 minutes." I'm like, "Oh, I gotta hurry up." And we were like, I think match number 3 that night. So
Three or four.
I had like no, it was 3. It was 3
Okay.
because I was literally already half dressed. I got to Connecticut
Yeah, you
still in
had
my
your gear.
gear. I had my gear
Yeah.
ready. All I had to do was put my kick pads on, my sneakers, and I was ready to go. So I'm there and I'm like, all right, who's in my match? And when I get down there, it's Jay Bougie, Big Game Leroy, Killian McMurphy, and Adam Brookside.
You're missing one. I think Clipper Jones was in your.
Clipper Jones, yes. And Clipper Jones.
Yeah.
But Adam Brookside was there, and I'm like, holy shit, Adam Brookside.
No, it's Adam Brooks, not
Brooks, correct.
Brookside.
Brookside. I'm saying it wrong, my bad. And like it's up
Um,
on my head a lot. So
Adam Brooks
Adam
at the
Brooks,
time was killing it against the likes of Will Ospreay
yep.
and everything like that. He was having a breakout year. So him
He was
coming
signed to Ring
to,
of Honor too before the whole like buyout
yep.
of Ring of Honor. So I'm like, holy crap,
So
I've seen this guy's work, and I'm like, I'm about to be in a ring with this guy. Holy crap. Nerves kicked in and then they left right away because I'm like, I'm also in the ring with guys I actually know.
yeah,
So this is gonna be a fun one. And sure enough, as soon as I came through the curtain, Alex was like, I'm gonna have to book you some more now because the people love Matt Awesome, I guess. So now I can push back to go back where I was. So then October came around, I wrestled Jarrett one-on-one at PAPW, which was another
hmm
really good match of last year. Um, we proved to the fact that yes, we're a tag team, but we can also wrestle each other and have a good one, a good match. Um, and then came that I had to do a promo for the We Are Wrestling show. So I kicked it up a notch and I took it back to where my humble beginnings came from. I went back to where I grew up, my projects, right? Where I was literally outside playing basketball all the time, hanging out with my friends, and even wrestling in the hallway. And one of my good friends who I grew up with there, he filmed it for me. So I did the edits myself and everything. I told a story in that promo about like how I started and where I'm at now, what I'm gonna do at that Rumble. And day of the show, I'm ready, psyched, nervous again, because there were people in the crowd that had always said, "Yeah, I'll go to your show, I'll go to your show." And they actually showed up this time around. Not only that, it fell on a weekend where it was going to be 6 years that my mom had passed.
Mhm.
Because I had started wrestling the year that she passed away. Late in the year she passed away. I started earlier in September and the springtime of 2016. She passed away November 2016. So that Sunday was gonna make the 6th year, and she passed away on a Sunday. So it was like everything was falling into the same time frame for me that weekend. And I'm like, damn, this is a tough one for me because I have that on my mind. Yet I have a Rumble on my mind. And I have to show up to this Rumble and do my best work with this clouding my judgment in my mind at the same time. So I used that as fuel for that match. And I wore it on my shirt. Like I had my gimmick on my shirt, but in the back I had miss you, mom, and a picture of me and my mom from the last mother-son date we had that year before she passed.
Mhm.
So it was a very emotional match for me. So
Right.
we're down to the last two, which is me and Bronco International, which is my
Yeah, one of your trainers.
one of my trainers, my long list of trainers, I'll say. And this man is a Bronx legend, a Bronx hero. And I threw him over the top rope. I
Last
picked
man
him up and
standing.
flung him last man standing in that ring, and it was a shocker to me. Like, holy crap, I won the Rumble. And right at that moment, the one thing I've always wanted to happen to me because of watching New Japan, because of watching Ring of Honor with streamers. I always felt
Yeah,
when streamers
it
go,
was.
that's it. It's you're
Hey,
there.
let me explain this part because I'm the outsider looking in, so it doesn't just make it like you're marking for yourself here.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I was
like,
marking for myself.
well, yeah, but it was he got the streamers, the crowd was nuts. I believe he celebrated for a good like 5 minutes right before intermission. It
Yeah.
was it was that moment that everyone looks for in professional wrestling is the moment Pretty Poppy got in Bristol coming out and the crowd absolutely going bananas for him. It was that in New York, his hometown, home city, home everything just backing him this night. And
Yeah.
with the emotions of his mom passing away 6 years ago, it's like you couldn't have told that story better.
It was I cried. Like tears came out when I was in that
Yeah.
ring.
He
And
had a
like big
line at the
shout outs.
merch booth.
Yeah, after that, yeah. And
You know,
shout outs to Pete Rosado for that moment because if it
yeah.
wasn't for him,
He's the
because
fucking man, bro.
he is
F
like it,
bombs.
I can say it right now off the bat. I've known Pete since the beginning of my career. And he's always talked about running his own promotion. Always, always, always. So then when We Are Wrestling came to fruition for him,
Hmm.
it was I'm like, oh, so what's up? Like, I'm ready,
Hi.
let's go. And he's like, not yet. Show two. Hey Pete, what's up? Not yet. Next show. Not yet. Hey, do the seminar with Jay Lethal. Sure, I did the seminar with Jay Lethal. Can I get the pre-show match? Not yet. Because his first shows were in Jersey.
Hmm.
So he didn't want to pull the trigger until the first show in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Because he's
He
like, I'm
said,
bringing the hometown boy back. And not only that, these people haven't seen Matt Awesome since the early 2020. So they're getting a new
BWF
revamped,
days.
somebody
Yeah.
that has literally taken their whole persona and reimagined it and brought it back with a different type of grit, like the real Bronx grit back. And I debuted for that show. And it's crazy. It's funny because the theme of the show was the Warriors theme. So
Hmm.
what I did in like respects to the movie The Warriors, which is one of my favorite movies, and one of my favorite gangs in the movies is the Baseball Fury.
Baseball Fury.
So I
Damn
painted
right.
half of my face the yellow and black as one of the
I,
members of the Baseball Fury in for
now,
that match.
now, I wouldn't say that he was copying me by wearing those same colors that I wore on Halloween literally 2 years before. But my boy was copying me. Okay. Rick, I'm gonna send you a picture of my Halloween costume as the Warriors. And you tell me if my man right above didn't steal my whole gimmick that night. I'm
Now
just saying,
this is
I'm
the
glad.
this is the crazy thing. This is the thing about that night too. Like right after that, of course, like Harry said, it was like a 5 minute celebration for me. Like I was
Was.
going around the
It's
ring,
crazy.
giving people fives, getting hugs.
It
My
was after
friends,
WrestleMania type shit.
yeah, pretty much. My friend's son came around and I picked him up and I was carrying him around because he made a sign for me. Um, you know, Everybody was just coming up to me like, I'm like, cool, cool. And I didn't go straight to my merch table. I went straight to the back. Plus, Jared felt a certain type of way because he tried to get me out. Of course, every man for himself. I get it. I hold no grudges. Hold no grudges whatsoever. I don't know if y'all noticed that on at the United by One show. I held no grudges, right? Possibly I
No,
did. I
you.
don't know. But anyways, so um I get to the back, and one of the first one of the first set of people to come and like congratulate me and give me like a really big hug was Chris Barton and Dominic De Niro.
Yep.
Those are my boys.
Barn
Like we've
Barn
wrestled
had
each
had
other
a
a few
killer.
times. Yeah,
Barn
Barton
had
had
a
a killer
killer
match against
match.
Yaya.
Yeah.
And those are my boys. Like legit, like we've wrestled each other so many times, but those are my bros. And at the end of the day, those are guys that will always tell me like it is and would always help me if I never needed help. And they gave me the biggest hug. And Dom was like, "This is the fucking man I knew you could be, man. Look and listen to that crowd. They're still cheering for you while you're back here."
That's
In
what it was.
his like Brooklyn Italian voice. And then um Ruthless Lala came. She was like, "I see you, nephew," and she gave me a big hug. Darius Carter came up to me and was like,
Another one.
"You're doing something different. I like it." And even Speedball gave me the nod of approval. He was like, "You have the crowd leading out of your hand. Good stuff." To hear that from Speedball, I was like, "Whoa, okay, cool." Speedball, told me something about it. And I went to my merch table, and
He had
it,
no
it, it
chocolates
was
left.
it was crazy. And like it's a moment. Like again, I thank Pete to this day for letting me have that moment. Not only that, but the next day, I got Barton had told me, "Bro, come out to Jersey. I may have something for you." Because Barton at the time was running IFC, which is Inferno Championship Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, IFC, Inferno Championship Wrestling. I'm right. And sure enough, I showed up. I drove out with Steve with not Steve with Jay Vera, and we get there, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna have you in a tag match. You're tagging with JD Alpha. You're going against RTB." I'm like, "All right, cool." I wrestled them in July for IFC's pre-show.
Hmm.
So this is the second pre-show I was on for them. Did a great job. Mind you, this is the day before my mom's anniversary, and I wrestled the day before. So Barton knew what he was doing. He wanted me to wrestle. He wanted me to wrestle really badly the next day. He wanted me to try to keep my mind good, don't go into like a depression or nothing. So he was trying to keep me like active. So Sunday comes around, and I'm sitting on my ass. I didn't want to do anything. My girl says, "Babe, what are you doing today?" I'm like, I don't know. She was like, "Didn't you say something about a show?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. There is a show going on today." And at that moment, Dom hit me up. "Yo, Matt, you coming to the show?" I'm like, "Let me throw my stuff and go to the show." So I went out to Catalyst Wrestling in Brooklyn that night or that day because it was an early day show. And I was hanging out like right towards the entranceway. Well, backstage slash entranceway with Homicide for most of the night after the match. And I consider Homicide well, he's one of my favorites. Ring of Honor days. One of the first wrestlers I fell in love with his style. He's one of the first ones. And to basically be under his learning tree and I pick his brain whenever I get a chance to and talk with him. He tells me stories all the time. It's crazy. It's surreal for me. So I'm there and he knows what's going on. And Steve Monster Mac is there too. We're all shooting the shit, just talking. And they knew what was going on with me mentally and what was going on that day. And they made sure they were like, "Man, she's proud of you. Don't even stress it, bro. You're with us. Come on, let's get a beer." Around that time, I had stopped drinking. So I'm like, you got non-alcoholic beers? I'll take one of those. So I'm there with a non-alcoholic beer, talking with them. Pete Avalon is there. And I'm hanging out with him, talking with him. And they're just basically like they're giving me gems. And I completely forgot to be depressed that day. But at the same time, I felt the presence like my mom was with me the whole day. And I'm like, wait a second, I got a show next weekend. And I literally had a show that following weekend with Invictus.
Yep.
And that was a fun scramble match. Like I got a chance to wrestle some really, really talented guys, two of them from Hog. Me and Jarrett. And dang it. Hoover Hatfield. There we go.
Ah.
That guy. That guy is amazing in the ring. But I got a chance to wrestle Mantequilla and Lolo Katana. And those guys, mind you, Mantequilla was one of my other many that have trained me. To have been in a ring with him was amazing. And he's another one that I send my matches to, and he'll tell me like it is. And his study of tape is different from a lot of other people's. He's like, I don't look at moves. I look at what you give to the crowd. I look at what you're doing. And he drills me about it. He says, I do that to you because I care. And I know what you can do. Because I saw you in training. Why aren't you doing that? And he goes in on me. And I sent him because I did get a copy of the match from last weekend. And from United by One, and I sent it to him, and I'm just waiting on his feedback. I'm literally waiting on that feedback. But he's one of those guys that actually took time and trained me in the ring that I respect so much. And we have also a very good mutual friend. But besides that, like, there's a lot of people in the business that you look at them and you be like, holy shit, I can't talk to these guys. But the moment you get a chance to talk with them and get under that learning tree, it's magic. Like Darius, I'm always on the Darius's learning tree, always. Like that man starts talking, wrestling, you got to be like this.
Darius is one of those guys you'll learn a lot from. Mm-hmm. We have 10 minutes left, so I want to get these questions off before we sign off here.
Number one, massage your feet.
I got like two questions I'd like to ask. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm sitting over here.
I'm sorry.
Harry takes over. All right.
Here we go. The man sits in the corner like this.
Listen, he started off very good with me in the beginning.
He did, and then Harry jumped in and started kissing your ass. But anyways,
you know what? No. Go ahead, do your thing.
I'm kidding. In seriousness, you mentioned a guy that is coming on the show next week. Somebody that I've had the opportunity to work with for two different promotions, 3 or 4 times. You mentioned this guy, and I've ultimately become a really big fan of his. And since working with him a couple times, I've got to analyze his work and think he's pretty damn good in that ring. But Jay Vara.
Yeah.
So tell me about have you ever actually worked with him in ring?
We've trained together. He's one of those guys that were like, come on, man, what are you doing? And he talks just like that. Hey, what are you doing, man? Go train. Come on, let's go. So like we'll go and we'll train together. And we've had our times where it was always me, him, Pena.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they'll just pop in, like Santana or Ortiz will just pop into training and we'll just go back and forth. But since I was still the young guy, I was still the new guy, not the young guy, because I think I'm pretty much older than all of them. I was the new guy in the ring. They were taking and picking me apart and making me run all the drills till I couldn't breathe, literally. And Jay's one of those, like, we can hop in the car and we'll have like great conversations that may or may not revolve around professional wrestling. But he's a great talent. I've seen a lot of growth and progression from him for the past few years. And I'm very proud of him for doing that. Like, even with a new baby that he has, he's been killing it, doing this thing, and utmost respect to him. Like, that's one of my boys.
Okay.
All right,
Harry.
So, go ahead. I got give me 3. Make a quick fire. You have 3 matches. Pick any 3 dream opponents right now.
Past, present, future?
Doesn't matter.
All right, past, I'm going to go with, I would wrestle Eddie Guerrero.
Kind of figured that one.
Duh.
Yep.
Present, who I would want to wrestle one-on-one.
Yep.
Oh God. Oh
Pick
shit.
I
anybody,
mean,
bro.
there's a million great wrestlers out there
Yeah.
right now.
There's
I mean,
literally, just pick one. Pick one.
Oh man. Flash. I'd wrestle
Dustin
Flash.
Waller.
okay.
Okay. And then somebody who's up and coming that you want to get in the ring with.
One-on-one.
Yeah.
Damn,
There's
I
a
have
crop of good. There's a crop of
I have
good
like
talent
three.
coming
I have
up.
three guys. I have three guys that I would love to
Okay.
wrestle.
for it.
Name all three.
Osito,
Osito,
Jay Bougie, of course.
the rematch.
Yeah, you can say rematch.
Mhm.
And the last one, Anthony Gamble.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, Gamble beat the snot out of you last time.
I'd hit him back too. I'll hit him again.
Yeah, but he won. He won
Listen,
that night.
I'll hit him
Anyways,
again.
Matt, plug yourself. Where can everybody find you?
Everybody can find me on Instagram at Matt_awesome17. It's the same thing for X, aka Twitter. You can also find the links to my merch and to my YouTube page on both of them. Again, I'm gonna start putting up 2022 stuff this coming week. So please be patient. But all of my stuff from the very humble beginnings of my first few matches, where I was the super shits,
Yeah,
to
BWF days.
basically where I'm getting to because I haven't put 2022 up yet. And also, I didn't get a chance to mention it, but I'm gonna mention it right now. I had a painful yet amazing match this past summer against Steve Pena.
We'll talk about that in the next one because there's a
Yes.
story behind that.
Yes, big story behind that.
We're definitely
yeah.
going to have you back. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta have
So-
that, guys.
Absolutely.
Do you have any matches coming up that we need to know about?
In December, I will be wrestling for Loud East Wrestling in the city. Me and Jared will be going head to head against, we don't know yet, but it's gonna be a tag team. We gave a few names to the company who we would love to wrestle. Hopefully we'll get one of those.
What's
But
the
if
date?
not, it's gonna be December 16th.
December 16th.
Venue is not yet there, but this company basically debuted for them in the summer. My first match with them was against Main Event, and wow, what a match with these guys. And the next one was Young, Dumb, and Broke back in September, which was another great match. But yeah, December 16th, and then for sure, because I am
2024.
saying it, 2024, Connecticut will be seeing more of Matt Awesome. Philadelphia will be seeing Matt Awesome for Mania Week for sure, because I will be
Okay.
out there. And right now there's a few people pulling for me on Twitter, trying to get me to Portland right now to wrestle out in Portland.
Nice.
I'm trying to post some strings so I can wrestle out in North Carolina where some of my family is. Also South Carolina and Florida right now. I got people looking out for me in Florida for promotions. But yeah,
I could
whoever's watching,
hit me up off
Hi,
air.
guys.
I know people in North Carolina, so I could
There we
hit
go.
me up off air. Matt, I want to thank you, Harry. Of course, thank you for being such a gentleman and ruffling
Always.
my feathers. Matt, we're definitely going to have you back.
Always.
Hopefully, this is a busy time of the year, and
Yeah.
for everybody. So hopefully, in the beginning of the new year, we can have you back. We can dive deeper into your career and what's going on with you then. I'm glad. Thank you so much for coming. This was a absolute pleasure having you
Thank
here
you
today.
guys for having me. I've been wanting to be on the show for a while now, and I'm
Yeah.
here. And you got me right after I finished doing a few coquitos, just getting the family stuff ready.
Yo,
Listen, I
you
got
can't be
some,
saying that. You can't be saying that without promising both of us a bottle. I don't know. I feel like that's a
hold
rule
on.
here.
I'm getting some. My wife's
Listen,
friend makes it and delivers it.
Yeah, but
so.
Rick, what are you doing, Rick? I'm trying to get us more coquito.
Harry.
My son.
Am I seeing you? Am I seeing you December 1st? Am I seeing you December 1st?
Of course you are.
What does that mean?
All right, Chad.
That means I'm getting a free bottle of coquito.
All right, gentlemen. I want to thank you guys. Don't forget to check us out on ProWrestlingWire.com. You guys have a great night.